Hey, what's up everybody? Today we are going to be talking about keys. So I want to show you what my key ring looks like. I have a couple of house keys and one key from my FJ Cruiser and one key from my RAV4. Now you're going to notice that my FJ Cruiser key is the AJT design key, which I swapped over to a couple of years ago. And if you haven't checked out my video about the AJT key, then I will link it here in the video description and you can watch that. But one of the things that came up recently on my internet algorithm was a key organizer, which I never thought about using. I decided to try it. So what I ended up buying was something called the Key Smart Compact Key Holder, which it looks something like this. And they make different versions of this, but I ended up buying the Flex version. What's different about the Flex version is that it flexes. You can see here I've got my keys in here, and there is a little bit of flex to it. So I bought this because it was a little bit cheaper than the regular one. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 keys in here. Okay, and you kind of balance it out so that it sits flush when you close it. And one of the reasons why I bought this was because I kind of wanted to simplify my keychain. Now, the other reason why I bought this is because I'm a huge collector of multi-tools. I'm kind of a gadget guy, right? So I thought this was a pretty cool concept. Not only does it keep my keys quiet, but overall it's just it's a pretty cool key organizer. So essentially I've turned my keychain into something that looks like this, into this. All right, it doesn't make a lot of noise anymore. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It wasn't until, I took a look at this packaging that I saw this picture of this remote flip key. I thought to myself that I've always wanted a flip key. So I ended up getting one. Here's a quick look at the flip key. This is a comparison between the key sizes. It's actually probably bulkier than the AJT design key. The body of this remote takes up more space than the actual key. So here it is extended. Again, it's actually larger than the AJT design key and the original keys. And the first thing I noticed is that the controls are sideways. So if you think about the original FJ Cruiser key, right, we have the lock function at the top, then we have the unlock and the panic here at the bottom. On this blank, the unlock is up here. You actually have to flip it this way. So that's the orientation, right? So yesterday I went to my locksmith and I got the key cut. It cost me $10 to cut. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm gonna make sure that the cut is correct. So I'm gonna just take it to my FJ Cruiser's doors and see if it'll open. Right, so we've got a locked door. Now we're gonna take the flip key, flip it open, insert, turn, and that unlocks the door. Okay. I'm going to leave it in there and lock it. Okay, so that works. We're going to take it over to the window because, as we know, the key can unlock the rear hatch. What we're going to do is we're going to take the key, insert it into the key hole, and then we're going to turn to the right and hold 2 seconds. Boom. So that hatch is now open. So that works. That was quick and easy. Again, locksmith, $10. Boom, we're done. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it apart so that I can put the key fob into it so that I'd be able to use this now instead of my current FJ Cruiser key. Alright, here are my 2 FJ Cruiser keys, right? This is the original. Again, nothing special. This is my AJT design key. Now, I'm going to be taking apart this one, first of all, because it's easier to do. Now, if you recall from my previous video, when I took apart my original key to convert it to the AJT, it's impossible to do this and keep the original case. Again, I pretty much mangled up the old case, which looks like this, and pretty much had to destroy it basically to get out the key. So this key is the original from here, right? It's the original. So it reuses the key, and it's just placed into this AJT design key fob, right? So that's the original. So the reason why I'm using this one and converting this to this is because I don't want to destroy this one, right? This one's already been destroyed, so I'm gonna use this one. All right, so now we have this, right? Right now I see two screws. I see one at the bottom and one here in the back. I'm gonna undo one at a time. All right, guys, in the process of removing this little screw back here, I stripped the screw and I could not get it open. So what I ended up doing was I ended up drilling through it and basically wearing away the threads. I was able to pry the case open. There's the remainder of the screw right there. So pretty disappointed with stripping the screw. All right, what's up, guys? All right, so the last time I tried to get this flipped key going, I failed miserably. I actually broke the spring, winding it a little too hard. So I ended up buying a second key, which I have here. And I'm gonna try this again, but I think I have a couple of things that I learned, made a couple of mistakes, and hopefully the second time will be the charm. But I'm gonna flip you guys around and show you kind of what's going on here. And because I'm having such a hard time, when I open up this key, I'm gonna swap out the battery. It's a CR2016 battery. The last time I changed the battery was probably 3 years ago. And if I'm successful getting this key to work, then I'm hoping that I won't have to change the battery for a long time after that. So we're gonna take it apart and I'm gonna use the key that's already been cut on this one and put it in this one and then hope for the best. Also, learning from my previous mistakes, I did go ahead and buy a set of these like mini screwdrivers because the one that I had was not good enough and it stripped the screw. So hopefully we won't have any trouble opening up with these new screwdrivers. Let's take this guy. We're gonna swap this one to the bad one. So this one's gonna go away. All right, we'll deal with this later. And then here we go. Once the key fob is out, we have to open up this casing. Get a little nickel. Give it a twist. Now this black casing comes off. Here's the battery at the bottom. I'm gonna cut this one open. Pry out this old guy. That one's gone. Put the new one in. All right, so hopefully we'll be good for another, I don't know, 3 years or so. That's the new battery in there. All right, so now we have the immobilizer chip. We got to pull that out. Again, you can probably use a paper clip, but I've got this little SIM card remover, which is specific to this Next Tool multi-tool. There's a little hole right there, this black hole. I can just kind of push it from the bottom very carefully because I think this is probably crack. All right, so the immobilizer's out. All right, one thing I noticed about this immobilizer is that it doesn't quite fit exactly into this this shape here. It's not an exact fit. So I actually had to use a piece of paper as a shim. There's some leftover plastic here. I don't know if that's there intentionally, but you know what? Let's just try. See, you see kind of, there's like a shape here. It's kind of shaped like the immobilizer, but it doesn't quite go in there, right? And if you think about the way the immobilizer sits in this thing, it's a specific shape and it goes in there like this. So I'm gonna try to keep that the same. I'll fold up a little piece of paper and stick it in there to act as a shim so that it doesn't flop around. It's a little loose in there. All right, so I've got a shim in there. You can see it. Keeps that immobilizer in place. So things are gonna get a little tricky. So now that the immobilizer is in place, let's put this case back on. All right, I'm gonna see if I can try to describe to you guys what needs to be done. On the spring, there's like a little part that sticks out and it's meant to sit in one of these notches so that you can spin and load the spring. This thing sits on top of the spring. Okay, we're gonna put it on top of the spring. Then we're gonna slide the key over so that it goes through the notches. Now there's 3 notches, but it goes through, I think, the first 2 here on the top. So just like that. And from here, you're supposed to wind the key counterclockwise. Some people do it once, some people do it twice. I did it once and it didn't spring open with enough force, so I'm gonna do it twice. But the thing is, like, as soon as I let go, the tension's gone, right? So I think the key is to keep the notches in place and not let the key fall completely through. And of course this is falling apart. So this is probably the worst part. And you guys, I spent hours, it must have been 3 or 4 hours trying to get this right, and ended up winding the spring too tight and of course breaking it. Another easy way to do this is also just to hold the key in place and turn the case clockwise. So I've had some success doing it this way. If this can snap into place, all right. I know that there's tension here. All right, because I'm curious now, we're not going to deal with the spring right now. I just want to see if this can close, right? So I put the fob in here. You see that there's these notches here. This pushes everything up, and I think this is what's stopping it from closing all the way, right? So now we have this, right? This is flush, and if we put the backing on without any spring, right? Let's just see what happens. All right, so we're seeing like a little bit of a gap here. You guys see that? I think this is maybe causing us some problems getting this thing closed. I think I might need to shave down like this thing. And like, what if I just took this off? What if I took off the black case? Okay, take this off. We'll put this guy in here. Is this what it takes to close this correctly? There's not enough resistance. It doesn't come out far enough. It needs just a little bit to come off. So let's just do a fitment test real quick. All right, so we got the front, and here's the back that I've shaved off with the Dremel. Let's just see if this will close without a gap. Okay, it's better. It's better. I think this is probably what we needed to do. I'm still not even really able to push this button. Maybe it needs a little shim back here too to kind of push it forward a little bit. That's probably what it needs, which is what I'll do. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. You close the backing, but the problem is pushing the buttons, right? You're trying to push the buttons and I can't. This is so recessed. It doesn't come out enough to push it, so you kind of have to use your fingernail. So let me just try a shim. I mean, already this is way too much work to make this work. So I've got a little piece of cardstock in here. All right, so it needs a shim back there. All right, so now that we've got that kind of worked out, let's try to do this with the spring. Put this all together. Spring in the notch. This guy, there's 3 different notches here. There's 2 up top and 1 at the bottom. I find it easiest to put the 2 up top facing me, which is the same orientation as the key. This will allow us to slide the key into place. And from here, I'm just gonna hold this in place, and then I'm gonna spin this thing around. Try to keep this as straight as possible. That's one rotation. I'm gonna do one more. It requires two. Try not to bend it. All right, keep it as straight as possible. This thing's gonna go all the way around. Okay, and then I'm gonna stick this down. Okay, now this is gonna sit down. All right, I got my finger on this guy. This thing's gonna come over, and the key is just to get this this cap through this hole on the. Oh. All right, so I successfully was able to get the spring in, loaded, everything snaps shut together. The shims are in there. All I gotta do now is tighten it up, but I just wanted to show you guys the test real quick. That's what it is. The spring action is working. So let's tighten this up, and then we're gonna take it to the FJ, and then hopefully the immobilizer is in the right place. Everything is gonna work. Also got to get this keychain ring in here. So I found it to be easier to remove this, get everything snapped into place, and then see if we can slide this guy in here. All right, here we go with the ignition. Here's our key. Yeah, it works. All right, so there you have it. All right, you guys, that took a long time. You saw me fumble multiple times with that spring. I must have done it like 100 times. Overall, my final thoughts about this key is that it was a lot more trouble than it was worth. Now that I have it, I'm happy to have a flip key, and I'm happy that I changed the battery so that hopefully I won't have to do this again for the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years or whenever the battery dies. But a couple of thoughts about this. The fitment on the back, remember we had to take a Dremel to kind of be able to fit that key fob in there and be able to snap this thing shut flush. I had to modify that a little bit. And then second of all, once that was modified, these buttons were a little too recessed, especially these two, the lock and the unlock. The panic was fine, but these two buttons were a little too recessed. So had to take a piece of paper and shim it a little bit to push it forward so that I could, you know, now lock and unlock with just my thumb as opposed to having to dig into that recessed hole with my finger. So that was number 2. And number 3 is just the sheer amount of frustration and time that this took. But that was the hardest part. But I did find that the trick of holding the key in place while spinning the bottom part, all you got to do from that point on is to put the top on while the key fob is in place, because you saw how many times that fell out. But the button just needs to poke through here, and once you can get that to poke through, and then you can snap the case shut, you're in business. You're golden. From that point on, you just putting screws back on, and then you saw me put this thing on after the fact because it was easier to keep this out of the way. But yeah, this was a real pain. Of all of the mods that I've done, this is probably the one that has frustrated me the most. But got a nifty little flip key now, which actually is pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I won't lie. So feel free to try this on your own. Everything that I used in this video I will link in the description. Hopefully, if you're up for the challenge and up for having a flip key, then by all means, give it a shot. Just be patient. You'll get it eventually. But I hope that was helpful for everybody. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.